Hey there, folks. I think we're live. The screen says so. It's Will. It's Wednesday with Will, and I'm super excited to be here. Hopefully everything's working well. Cindy, I see you in the green room. I think you can still see me. I'm going to click on a couple of banners here because I want to know where everybody's tuning in from today. So before we get started, thank you for joining us. I want to tell you something. This show almost didn't happen today. This is not a place for heavy and dark and sadness, politics, any of that kind of stuff, right? This isn't cable news. But Cindy and I have like energies, and our energies were, I don't know, I'll let her speak for herself, completely depleted. And we had a conversation with everything that's going on in the world. Maybe we shouldn't be, having fun today, or I don't know, maybe it's inappropriate. And after a conversation, we decided the show must go on. We have an obligation to do what we do. We love to talk, we love to share, and we like to create positive energy wherever we go. So with that, that's what this show is all about. And it is about me introducing you to all who inspire me. And it's just fantastic. Cindy, I'm sorry I didn't get the theme music ready, but I'm going to bring you right up onto the stage. Hey there, Cindy.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, why don't you introduce yourself to the group here, and I will see who's hanging out with us. I'll just scroll through.
Yeah, I see all of our friends have made it to the party today. Yay! Thank you all for coming. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cindi Cohn. I work for Makesy. Basically, I do amazingly fun team building activities for companies and small groups and big groups. And I'm going to Atlanta next month and doing a huge one. But basically, my job is to bring connection, creativity, joy, and ultimately bring how to use all that to just create a better day and self-care and wellness. And my impact in life is just to bring joy wherever I go, that everyone should leave here today feeling that much more energized than you did before you got on with us today. So I hope that's my goal for today. And thank you all for coming. I love all the energy I'm seeing. Thank you guys in the chat. It's awesome.
I'm scrolling through, and there's a big turnout here for you today, Cindy. And I'm seeing people that I worked with and know. It's great for the turnout. So, Cindy, now that we're live and there's a couple of people watching, I really brought you here because there's this secret plot of mine. I really want to meet Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton's part of my childhood. I know you don't live far from Dolly Parton, so I'm hoping that maybe those who are watching will help me see my dream come true.
Yes, I did put a word in for you with her assistant. And she said the next show that you put me on, that she'll be available. It was too short notice for her. But fun fact about Dolly, yes, I live in her hometown. My kids went to the same middle school as she did. I passed her house every single day for probably 7 years, going and dropping off and picking up. Dolly is an inspiration to me in so many ways. And gosh, I wish we could just right now sing like her soundtrack. Like Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. Come on, guys. You know it's the best.
Rivers in the stream. We could just go on and on. You know, Dolly. So there's two things I want to talk about. We got Dolly out of the way. So my secret plot is that you're going to introduce me to Dolly Parton.
Correct.
I grew up with her. Late 70s, early 80s, Dolly was always on the radio. My mom was a huge Elvis fan, and so she was able to listen to some of his music on the local New York City country radio station. It's a weird thing. Like, you don't think of New York City and country music. So I became addicted to Dolly Parton. Also,
you might not know this. I read about that she actually turned down Elvis on a date because she wanted Johnny Cash.
Is that really true?
Yeah,
I believe you because you live so close to her. You have to be.
We're besties. Yeah.
The other thing about my mom and Dolly Parton, because I feel like Dolly Parton's like my sister, my mother, my aunt. My mom was a big candle person. I never shared that with you, but
no, you
growing up, she used to do candles, and she was a candle freak. So other than our energies, which I think were instantaneously combined when we commented on one another, but that's what I wanted to bring you on. You're one of these people, and Aaron's name is here on the screen. He was on before. You've connected me to so many people. Your energy is just off the charts, and that's what I wanted to start doing with this weekly show, right?
So
Just
good. Yeah, that you mentioned.
introduce one another. Tell me, where does that come from? Like, where do you get your energy from?
You are not the first person to ask that. Okay, truth be told, y'all, Celsius. No. But no, and I do like some coffee too. But no, really, my energy really comes from, and goes way back. I don't know where exactly it came from originally, but I have lived my entire life as an adult knowing that every day is a gift. And so I wake up with such an appreciation for the day. Before my feet have ever hit the floor, I've already thanked God for the day, for the blessings to come, and for all the little things that are so big to me. So I think that's where my energy, that's what gets me out of bed every day. Is just like, I'm like, I'm alive. I got so much fun to do today. So that's really the truth. There's no magic formula.
I think I came into the kind of sharing my energy. I think we had similar upbringings, right? There wasn't anything, I think, when we've had our conversations, our parents instilled in us, you could do whatever you like, just be good. My mother used to say,
Yes.
it won't kill you to be nice once in a while, will it? Right? So you grow up with that piece. And here, as adults, right, we are able to use our presence in a way. And I spoke to it earlier, and we've talked about this a lot, the obligation to use our energy for something that is positive. And again, this isn't the dark side, this isn't cable news, but this has been a tough decade. Let's face it. It's not an easy decade. And there are going to be moments where we get down, where we get depressed, and people like you, energy like ours, it's important. It's an obligation to share it. Last thing I'm going to say about experiences, because I want you to talk about how you do that. Growing up, my nieces and nephews, the little ones, they probably thought I was boring because I did not give them gifts. You would give them money towards something, money towards a school or an experience, right? You could bring someone to a Broadway show, you take someone to a special dinner, you go on a vacation. That creates a memory forever. The gift itself, while it could be nice, it could be beautiful, it could be expensive, that's easily forgotten. People Absolutely. Don't forget how you made them feel, right?
Right.
Tell us about, what you do, right? You create experiences, and you had to go from the pandemic of doing them in person to actually having to do them virtually like this.
Well, actually, a little bit, I probably may or may not have shared with you, but my virtual experience goes back over 20 years. Actually, I was part of making the first online high school. I have a master's degree in education. You might not know that about me either. This is kind of my second career in that I get to now, not that I didn't enjoy what I'm doing did before, but this is really just using my natural gifts. And it's not a job to me, what I do every day. It is a gift that I get to just be myself every day. Yeah, I love to do events. I love, like, there's people in the comments saying the energy, when people leave my events, they feel energized. They feel more productive. They feel happier. They have learned things. They've changed their mindset, because I'm really big about mindset. And I don't ever forget to use that opportunity to share those gifts that I've learned with other people. So it's really a very impactful, fun. At the end of the day, they're making a candle that they can use for themselves or pay it forward. As you and I have talked about before, paying it forward to me is like brushing your teeth. It's like changing your underwear. Okay. Like, you have to forward. It's not like a choice. It's like something you just do. And I'm trying to create that ripple effect in the world, because it's so simple and it's free. Most of the things that you could do to help people and be kind and pay it forward are free, which is amazing. So that's what I do.
What's a favorite story of yours, right? We do this. And again, I'm seeing lots of activity in the comments here. cheers to second careers, right? And this is a new career for me, right? I was a conservative in a conservative box for a long time, and I don't need
Right.
to do that anymore. And so it's wonderful to do something completely new, regardless of where you are in life and what you're doing. And it's phenomenal. So working with people, people are looking for me to do team building and use my energy, because all you have to do is give me a microphone and a camera and I'll talk all day long. We all have our favorite stories. I want your favorite story of an experience you put together. We didn't rehearse this because none of
No,
this is supposed to be
we didn't.
rehearsed. But what's your
So
favorite?
I'm sorry, I'm going off script.
Uh-oh, I think there are props coming.
Probably know what I'm gonna do. Okay, so my favorite thing to do is, you ready, guys?
Uh-huh.
It's going off script. Is throw kindness around like glitter. I'll be
I'm
wearing
glad
this
you're not in
glitter
my
for a
living
very
room. That would be a mess.
so my favorite thing to do is, like I said, just to bring light to people. And like we talked about when we weren't sure if we were going to have the event
Right.
today because of the heaviness in the world. And I said, I wrote my book in a very dark time. And the whole purpose for my book was to use it as therapy and to document that you can have joy in dark times. So I said, this show must go on. Right? I mean,
Exactly.
what is the whole purpose, right? I
Right.
mean, we have to be the light. We have to show that even in these dark times, that there is joy. And it's a choice that we can make every single day. Sometimes you have to make it every 5 minutes to keep up your joy. But it can be done, and it should be done. So that's what I wanted to share with you.
You brought in props, so now I have to use props, right? I'm a Warner person. So talk about bringing joy. We talked a little bit about this earlier. Look at what I received. Michelle, she's on the screen right now. I can't believe I received this most beautiful card from Michelle Cordy. So if you're not following her, please do. Lovely, lovely card. Lift my spirits. And I'm so blessed to be connected to Michelle and David Hansen. They've been such buddies. And then I got this card as well from Grace. If you've seen this show before, you've seen the Will and Grace show. She sent a get well card to my husband. So 2 handwritten cards in the mail this morning brought me such joy, right? That someone, 2 of these wonderful people, took the time out to share some words, know that it's been a difficult, month and time for us. And that is what we do in creating those experiences, right? It's not the amount of money you spend or how you try to impress. This means so much. So thank you to the both of you. It's wonderful.
And Michelle, that was so beautiful. I love to do handwritten cards also. It means so much to people when they go to the mailbox. I think partly because it's not widely used anymore. So now it's like, oh, I got something in the mail and it's not
Beautiful.
an email. I love cards. Great job, Michelle. That is beautiful. You're always spreading love. That's why you're here.
It's wonderful. And I think that you can't always give someone the solution, right? We can't always give someone that clarity maybe that they're seeking, but you can give someone your time, your attention, and you can be kind. Even if someone's being unkind, and we talked a lot about this, Cindi, there's some ugliness that's going on. For the most part, on LinkedIn, it's been loving, and this is a great community, and we talk about this. We love our communities, right? Absolutely, so glad we're connected. But I believe through these times, the unkindness kind of creeps in, and that's what we are here to be showing some sort of light, as opposed to it. You're just blowing up the
comments.
That's
a good point. I mean, we didn't talk about this, but I'm glad you are bringing it up. So, I'm not going to say I have blinders on. I see what I see negativity. I see it on LinkedIn. I've seen it all over. But I choose not to focus on that, because if I do,
Right.
I will go down the same rabbit hole as all the other people
Exactly.
and jump on that bandwagon. And I am not here for that. What you focus on will continue. So I choose to focus on being positive and having a great attitude and complimenting people and giving joy to other people. And guess what? That actually attracts more people to me, and it boomerangs, and I get more happy from the experience. So it's like win-win for everybody. So that, I guess, is a key takeaway for anyone watching. First of all, I also avoid most social medias because I have found that it goes down a bad pathway of depression and anxiety for me. So for me, it's one less thing I need to check. It's one less thing that causes me to feel bad about myself or anything. So I just want to keep my positive vibe, and I protect my peace. And then, so the way I do that is, one method is I control what I consume, and not only food and water, but as in consuming social media. So that's a big thing for me. I stopped social media last November. I have never looked back. And it's just been what works for me.
Yeah, I'm going to, starting tomorrow, I'm going to disconnect from all devices. I'll have my phone on in case the world blows up and someone has to text me, leave New York. But I really am doing that for myself because, like you, Cindi, I'm writing, but I find it very painful. And you could speak to this. Writing is very personal. Excuse the ambulances here. You're in the middle of Manhattan. It's something that's very personal. And I would imagine, those that have this, people look at us as super optimistic and always happy. You go through a lot of stuff. And when you write about that stuff, it can sometimes be quite difficult to get it out. I don't know about you, but I can start writing and then all of a sudden realize, oh, I should probably go clean out the refrigerator, or I should do laundry, right? You come up with excuses. And so I really want to talk about writing a little bit more, but also ask the audience, put your question in the comments if you have any for Cindi, because I really want to make sure that I'm using the best time here. And I'm seeing your comment about social really, I think, touched a couple of people here. I think Jerry is talking about he's gotten off of Insta, deleted Insta. Digital sabbatical. Yes, Joanne.
It's a huge difference. It's something so simple, but you realize a couple of things. You have more time to focus on your own self and invest in yourself, which was one of the best things that I've ever done in my entire life, is investing in myself. I never knew it was actually a thing until I did it. And I realized, wow, so all that extra energy and time, which was so mostly negative, I've used in a positive way to pour it into myself. One of the ways is writing that book. My book is being published next month. I am super excited. I can't tell you the title yet, but I can tell you that it's going to bring you more joy. That is absolutely the truth.
Well, you'll come back, I'm sure, because I want to be able to talk about
Well, Dolly and I want to come back together.
No. I'm going straight there, and I'm going to be with you and Dolly in person. I'm not doing a virtual Dolly.
Go to my favorite coffee shop.
We will definitely do that. So here, speaking about books, I wasn't sure, but since you brought on the props, I'm going to bring on the props. This is something I bought, and I don't know if you could see. Mm-hmm. I bought this book, and if you follow Liz and Molly, this book was published about a month ago. And I just found myself this week in particular picking it up and reading it. And I just love, and for those, if you can't see it because of the screen, How to Be Okay When Things Are Not Okay. I think they published this book, or they pitched this book before the pandemic. Pandemic happens, our lives are blown up, and we've all had big feelings. So to be able to get those feelings out and to share them and to write them is just incredible. And you and I are on a mission, Cindi, to talk about it.
Three so simple, free things that have helped me is the right amount of sleep. Okay, we all need to sleep and we need to have good sleep. Go to bed at a good time. You know, don't have screen time right before. That will not work for you. Also, laughter. I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh. I make myself laugh all day long. I am like the funniest person I know.
You are.
Not I mean, like the people that really know me will get videos randomly of me singing chestnuts roasted by I mean, whatever I come up with, Old McDonald. It depends on what I like to be silly. Being silly and being creative back to like when I was a child makes me happy. That think about when we were children. We would color, and when we colored, that we were just like all involved in it. It gave us joy and happiness. I try to bring back creativity and singing, things that are give me joy, and I like to share it with other people.
I'm starting to see questions here. So, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to make sure we have time for the questions. But you're absolutely right. I didn't mean to cut you off. Bringing that joy is I think is a gift that you have, right? It's a gift someone is given. You can't teach someone, okay, you're going to give joy if it's not within the person, right? Not all personality types.
I feel like you can get joy, though. I think that it is within us. We have to know how to get it out. I feel like. But maybe not be like, they won't have my personality, but everybody has different personalities, but you can still have joy, right? So what I was saying is the three things that helped me that were absolutely free are sleep, laughter, and hugging. I need hugs so bad. That endorphin hug, the tight hugs are like, I have friends that will just squeeze each other to death. And oh my God, it's heaven.
That's great. So Grace's question here is, would love to know how Cindi transitioned into a new career.
Well, I was actually in virtual education, and I was a private tutor for someone at this company I work for, teaching their children while they were in another country. So I took on their learning during the pandemic. And because they saw how fun and interactive I was, when they went to build their virtual program, it was kind of a natural, like, oh, of course we have to have Cindi do it. So that's kind of, it wasn't really a planned thing. It just kind of fell in my lap. Yeah.
We have a technical question here from David. Let me see if I can find it. David Hansen has a question. Now I've lost it. He wanted
too.
Let's see. Okay. Double duties. You can create positivity on LinkedIn without judgment, I have found. Absolutely true. Other platforms even regulate posts for being too positive. Now that just blew my mind.
I haven't heard that, but I'm not surprised.
It's not surprised, and it's probably owned by some big corporation that, sells pharmaceuticals.
That's unbelievable. That's interesting.
Okay, I lost David Hansen's question. David Hansen, I think you had a question about candles and wicks. So it was a technical question. If you wouldn't mind putting it back in. I just can't believe how you're blowing up the comments here, Cindi. People, your energy is just bringing on so much positivity. On that, as I'm waiting for.
You. Honestly, that is my passion. Like everybody has, I like to say, if you have a pulse, you have a passion, you have a purpose. Sometimes our purpose comes from our pain. Our pain ends up being how we find our purpose. But in my case, my purpose, and it might have been from things growing up, I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but I'm an encourager. I'm a cheerleader, did not make the 8th grade cheerleading team. I am still in therapy. I want you to all to know that. So I'm making up for it now. Okay. So I love to encourage and uplift people. We need a lot more of that in the world. We need everyone to look up from their phones and see, who can I help? Right. What's going on? Can I lift a hand? Right. I mean, I love to look up and see how I can be of service or help someone. Is
Does
what I
this have,
enjoy.
I have a question for you, totally off topic maybe, but on topic. Are you the type of person in a supermarket or in a public space, wherever I go, my entire life, doesn't matter what I'm wearing, how I'm dressed, people walk up to me in a supermarket and ask, where are the canned peas? or how much is this, carton of eggs? I must
That's
have one of
funny.
those faces because I, like
You do.
you,
You look like the store manager of Food City here.
I look like a bank manager
I want
somewhere,
to
I'm sure.
answer David's question because it's important.
Yeah.
So I work for the Wooden Wick Company. We now are called Makesy because we do so much more than wooden wicks, but we are the original, and we have hold 100 patents for the wooden wick. And David is asking about that. And so that looks like this. For anyone who hasn't seen what a wooden wick candle looks
I've
like.
seen that.
Yeah. And there's like 10 differences, but the main reason why people buy it is the crackling. You can't get that with a cotton wick. So it's going to be like a mini fireplace. Like it creates this nice white noise. It's just amazing.
I don't think I've ever, my husband also, he loves candles, but I don't think I have never seen a wooden wick, actually.
Well, you will. I will mail you one after the show.
Oh, okay. That's good. And I want a handwritten card, not to put pressure on you, but
it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, and let me see who else is here in the chat. Oh, Kathy, she's going to be on next
Kathy,
week.
yay, Kathy for coming. Woo!
Kathy's going to be here next week, and Bob always shows up. I absolutely thank you for all your support. Grace has another question. Why do you do candle making? Who do you do candle making events for? Good question.
Good question, Grace. I do it for all sorts of companies, like, for everyone from Amazon, Google, TikTok, to offices like dermatology, law offices, doctors' offices. I've done family reunions, girls' nights out, birthday parties, bridal showers, and it could be big or small. All events. It doesn't matter. Organizations, even.
I think that's great, and it is a form of team building, right? Because you're doing an activity.
Absolutely. So we start with a icebreaker team builder to get everyone interacting and laughing. I do some jokes and get everyone, feeling really relaxed and comfortable. What's great about candle making is most people have never made it, so that everyone's starting on the same platform, the same place. So no one feels like, oh, they know more about it than I do. Everyone is at the same level, which is nice. And then we go from the icebreaker into unpacking the amazing kit, which everything is biodegradable, sustainable, eco-friendly. And then as I'm going through everything, I'm educating and entertaining at the same time because I don't know how not to. So I'm like laughing again, making myself laugh throughout the whole thing. And then it ends with using the candle. We talk about self-care and wellness and how beneficial candles are. And it's all research-based in science, how candles, certain fragrances, they increase the dopamine level and activate the chemicals that take away anxiety and depression. So it's like a 1 hour winning amazing event. So I love doing it.
I think it's absolutely incredible because, as I said, my mom was a big candle freak, and we used to do that growing up. My husband loves all sorts of candles, so there's always something going around. So I didn't realize there was actual research that it's good for you. We're running out of time. We're almost up at our half hour. There's a really great question from Brian here. How has your relationship with God shaped who you are today? That's a really powerful question.
That's a great question, but it's going to take longer than 1 minute to answer it.
Well, maybe you could say a couple more.
Okay, Brian, that's a great question. The best way to put it is I no longer have any fear in my life. I am not fearful of anything. I know that I will always be taken care of. I know that there's no worries in my life because I know who's in control. So I live pretty happily and at peace because I just know everything's going to be right. Even when it's bad, I know it's good. So I'm like happy in a roundabout way for the bad times, because those have always turned out to bring me up tenfold higher than I ever could have imagined. So I know there's a reason for everything, and I'm here for it. And I'm just like, take me, I'm yours.
No, that's really, really great. And I think that's the authenticity that comes across in from the very first moment you just liked a post or you just commented. It can't be described, but you can feel that energy. You can feel the energy of the community, and so many of us just comment one another, and you look forward to hearing from it. And having that faith, that spirituality, is so important. Let's see.
It's a life changer. It really is. I know Brian knows that too.
And Grace,
Yep.
God is in charge always. That's my view. Thank you, Grace.
And Joanne. Yeah, I'm telling you, this platform actually has brought me a lot of people that are similar to me in that way. And I get text messages, I get DMs of these situations, and it just like confirms like that I'm in the right place with the right people.
Question from Bob. Would love to learn more about the science behind how candles help with anxiety? So this is because we're, I want to make sure I'm mindful of your time, but this would be a great way. I'll put in the chat when this is all done for the live team and for the replay. How do people get in touch with you? Obviously, you're a popular guest here.
Well, first I want to answer Robert in a short form. So creativity reduces anxiety, stress, and depression. And there's a New Zealand study. I have all the studies on all this. And candles also transform an atmosphere, not only from the light and the peaceful and the tranquility, but depending on what fragrance is in the candle, that actually goes to your limbic system and will and get into your mood. So you'll change your mood as well as the atmosphere in like 15 minutes. It's like free therapy, basically. So yeah, there's tons of science about it. And I talk about that during the event. There's even more I can share with you.
I love the idea of doing an event with you. Actually, that would be so great. I got to fly down to you, or you fly up to New York. Would you do an event here in New York?
That brings up a point. So I do virtual, I do hybrid, and in-person events.
So the virtual one, I'm interested. Do you just ship everything to the individuals? If you sign up, that's just fantastic.
And it's super easy process. I am the point person and I do everything. So it's not like you're dealing with other people. It's like I take care of you. Boom. I'm a one-stop shop. People who I know there's someone on here. Joanne has done 2 events with me. She could speak to how easy I make things. It's just a fun experience too.
And then I guess one of the final words, Grace wants an invite to that virtual. We're no longer together in New York. She's out in LA. So when I do that virtual event with you, we'll get the time zones. We'll get them all covered. That's great.
That's awesome.
This went so quickly, and we talked about so much, and like ending it on what we talked about from the beginning was that Maya Angelou quote. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And
too. And thankful people are happy people. So if we start with being thankful for even the small things, it will be a mood changer.
So I think we're going to have to live up to what we just talked about. We should do a virtual event. Let's figure out when we can do that. And with this community, we've got to do something. You just gave me an idea. I am thrilled. I went over time. I so appreciate you staying a little bit extra, and you just definitely have to come back. Everyone follow Cindi. Just comment on her posts. She's great. The energy's all there. And as we have these crazy, dark times, don't forget, we're humans first, and we have this obligation to share our joy. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Cindi.
Thank you all for coming so much and supporting us. Have a joyful day.
Say hi to Dolly.
Okay.